Hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you, and I'm back with you guys again today with a distinguished celebrity. As you all know, that every day we've been coming up with some different personality altogether, and let's all welcome Dr. Maya today here with us.
Hi, good evening, Madhuri, good evening, viewers. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Honor and it's a pleasure to have you here with us today, and thank you for taking up the precious time. So today, Luxury meets Dr. Maya Pradeep, Creative Director, Chic, CEO of Haute Couture, and as a designated partner in Beyond Z Consultancy. She's been a model. She's also now getting into politics a bit. So let's all know about your story and your journey today.
Thank you, Madhuri. So, yes, I mean, it's been a mixture of many things: business, fashion, glamour, and now politics. So, but I'm enjoying it completely. I would not trade it for anything else. So, let me start this way that I'm a firm believer that when life throws lemons at you, you make lemonade out of it. So whatever, I never imagined myself to be in the fashion industry, first of all. So because I came from a very, very strict family. My parents were working, and the only thing we could hear was books, education, and what to become, all that. But but the only thing that I could say that with working parents, we were brought up to be very independent, self-reliant, and money mindful. So very early in life, my mother was working, so I knew the importance of being financially independent for women. So when I announced in my family that I want to do design, my father asked, "Design? What? Fashion design?" So I mean, they were completely shocked because they expecting me to become engineer or doctor. So but my mother supported me. Yes, my mother supported me, and she sent me to Bangalore. And then that way I started my fashion design, in classes. And one day when I was walking down the street, a fashion photographer saw me, and he said, "Could you pose for a picture?" So and he gave me 1,000 rupees for posing, and 1,000 rupees was big money those days. So and so I thought to myself, wow, the fashion, even just a post could fetch me 1,000 rupees, then the huge entire fashion business has got big money in that. So I was thinking like a businesswoman, and I thought I should, learn various aspects of fashion. And I got into fashion. I started modeling, of course, side by side, but I got into the bigger aspects of fashion, like fashion design, illustration, and export related fashion. And while I was doing that, I was taken by a very, very big apparel manufacturer. He gave me a good job, and I started learning the export side of it. And thus began my journey in the field of exports in the fashion industry. So, and then I changed jobs. I worked with Japanese firms, French firm, and Sri Lankan firm, and Dubai-based firm, and and this gave me a whole lot of a new picture, how globally the entire fashion industry works. It was wonderful to know that each country has different demands and different people, and how to deal with different people in this industry. And I kind of worked for almost a decade and a half with various fashion industry, international, and after I mean, the last job was a very highly paid job, and I was completely enjoying it. But sadly, the atmosphere was not very conducive. It was very unsafe for girls, and we were, always under the fear, like, okay, who's going to be the next prey for this kind of a people. So I was not very happy being there, though it was a very, very highly paid job. And one fine day, I just quit my job. I came home and I faxed my resignation. Because I couldn't take it anymore, and I said, I'm not going to take this lying low. And I just faxed my resignation from home, not knowing what I'm going to do the next day. I had no second plan, no backup plan. So, I'm like completely clueless. I don't know whom to discuss, what to do, but I was very sure about one thing, that I'm not going to work at a place where there is no dignity and where girls are not safe. So, I've never told this, publicly, but I'm telling today because I think from our lessons or our learnings, others should learn. So and from that time, I encourage everybody that if you're not comfortable or you don't feel safe, there's no point working there. And one thing that I would again tell, that I came back home not knowing what to do, but then after a few days, I got a call from an international fashion house, and on the other side was a lady, a CEO, a lady of a fashion house, and she told me, I have seen your work. I would like to give you a chance. If you are ready, I'll give you some orders. You execute it well, you're getting continuous orders. If you don't exit, there's no second chance for you. So, so what I'm trying to tell you is that the good works get acknowledged somewhere. Somebody's watching you. And when you are in need of something, the world conspires you to give that. So I took up this challenge, and I said, no, I will do it. And I did it excellently well, very well. And she was so happy that even today she's one of my biggest customer. And throughout this journey, I work with so many women CEOs. The fashion industry is mainly women oriented, and so many fashion women entrepreneurs. And it's wonderful. My 70% of my clients are women entrepreneurs, women leaders in the market of apparel. So it's wonderful working with women because there's so much of transparency, there's so much of respect for each other, and everybody wants to do good for other. So I have seen that women supporting women globally, this is my experience, and I completely I say that if women support women, a lot of lives will be changed. So this is my experience in the export industry. This is how even today I'm working. Most of my customers work with me even today, and they're very happy. And I could do this because I knew my skill well. I knew my job well. And and that's when I always tell girls, learn your trade well, learn some skills, that could take you anywhere. So talent is always recognized.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful to know your journey. It's really amazing. And I really like the way of telling the whole thing about which we are going to come, and I'm going to ask you more questions on that specific thing. So first, I would like to know, Dr. Maya, that you have been a model and a designer for international fashion labels. So if you could tell some of the international labels that you have worked with and your experience, what is so different than working in those international exposure and these international clients, and which label?
Well, if talking about the industry, I mostly worked with French clients. Initially I worked with Japanese clients. There was this brand called Itochu. It was a company called Itochu Corporation, which had their own labels, and working with them was an eye opener by itself. So much of discipline, and precisely, they know what they want. And I would say that half my knowledge has come from working with this company and the brand, Itochu Corporation, which was a Japanese based. And I directly reported to the CEO, and I learned a lot under him. So he was a Japanese boss, and it was too demanding though. Initially, I was very young, and I was like, I'm not going to do this. But it was a great learning. Then I switched on to, mostly my clients were French, and they're wonderful people to work with. The French industry again is the most creative industry in fashion. They come up with lots of value added styles, and very clear on what they want. And even in the modeling sector, Paris Fashion Week is the best. And I have contributed to that also. And most of the brands happen when what we make is exhibited there. So then it's the Italian fashion. I have worked even with Italian mafias to be. It was dangerous, but it was a great show. There was a brand called Diputa Madre, and it was a mafia brand. The owner was always in jail for things like that. So even that was an experience. But then the brand was people were crazy about that brand. It was one of the most wanted brand in Italy and in Europe. So I worked for that. So all these had different experience. The maximum business happens from France. Yeah, they are always with new designs and new fabric innovations, and we also work from our side with contributions, which fabric suits and what embroidery will suit. And our job mainly is to tell what will work. What is the new up in the market, what is coming up in the market, and even the modeling. If you see the modeling side, and it's completely different from what is expected in the modeling in India. The models over there are expected to have a very normal expression, no smile or no looking into the eyes of the people, just walk without any expression. But here the modeling industry is very different. I mean, people walk different ways. So this is a very different, two different scenario, if I have to say. I mean, we had to adjust to both of it. So this is my experience as far as modeling as well as export industry is concerned for the apparel.
So that you feel between the Indian fashion, these all these brands and the international brands or the labels.
Sorry?
What is one main difference that you find between the international brands and labels and the Indian brands?
See, they are they are innovative. Our Indian brands are not innovative. We are just bothered to make what sells. But internationally they are very, very innovative. We are always told to try with new fabrics and weave fabrics and find out new things and embroideries, and we are experimental. The Western market is very experimental, but I would say the Indian market is not. We are more bothered about making money and make what sells. And again, the cost matters here. We produce because we want to sell it to the masses. But if you see, the luxury segment is all the Western brands. How many brands can you say of the Indian market that you have in the luxury segment? So we are catering to the masses, and they make exceptionally good stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Again, though you briefly mentioned about it, that you had to quit your job suddenly and you felt very unsafe and uncomfortable in your working place.
I'm not able to hear you. I'm not able to hear you.
I would like to touch upon, you had to quit suddenly. You felt very uneasy, uncomfortable. So, is there any incident you would like to mention and like to educate women who are working with any of your advice, and would like to tell about that?
Yes. See, what happens again? This is the fashion market. Every industry has its good and bad. So the fashion industry is prone to it more. Even in the export industry. So I'd say that the French market or they're very experimental and all that is fine. But in any industry, there is when you're working for a company and then you have the owner of the company not safeguarding the girls, and you're prone to some kind of people making objectionable comments on the girls who are working. Like we were the buyer, we are on the buying side, and if the customer makes some kind of objectionable comments, and I believe that if I was the owner of a company, I would object to it, even if it's affecting my business. I mean, I would trade for anything. It is my job to protect the girls that they are working for me, and until today, with that experience, I have always, I can vouch for it that all the girls, forget girls, even the boys who work with me, they love being in an environment which they feel very safe and conducive. So my experience was that, I mean, I worked I worked so hard that I took over the turnover of the company from a small, 10 crore to 80 crore. So I definitely required that kind of, appreciation and protection. So we are exposed to that. We cannot deny that. All of us in any industry, we are exposed to some kind of people. If there are various kind of people. But then if you do not have the higher ups supporting you and protecting you, then you are not safe there, and that will work and it will affect on your work also. And the, no, we are working in a place that doesn't mean that we can trade our safety for that. So I was very clear, and that's the reason I am again telling here this. Many people complain of Me Too after 10 decades. What's the point? If you don't want to be in a situation, just come out of it instead of complaining Me Too after 10 years. And that's where I tell girls or anybody that learn the skills well, because nobody can put you down or take advantage of you if you know your work well. So just if you don't like any environment, just come out of it and go. You have to find another job because if you know your job, anybody will give you a good job. So that's about it.
Wonderful, very nice. And I'm sure you're giving a good message to the women who are working at different workplaces. So, other thing I would like to know, Dr. Maya, is that you strongly believe that female entrepreneurs have really supported you and helped you. Though it's generally said that behind every successful man stands a woman, and according to you, behind every woman there is another woman. So,
Yes.
How strongly do you feel about it? And
Yes. Yes. So, yes, there's behind every successful man, there's a woman, but then behind very successful women, there are many women also. Because in my case, it's been many women supporting me. Trust me, I mean, women feel happy when they see that there is the other end is also run by a woman. And I'm telling you that women, in India at least, the girls are from a very young age taught to do various multiple tasks. We are not only expected to excel in studies, we are also expected to do the house work and a little bit of everything. And so by the time we turn into adults, we are many expertise. We're very, very functional. So that way, we have Indian women have an edge everywhere globally. Wherever they go, I'm sure they will do well. Because from we are trained like that from a very young age that you have to get married and go to another house and do. But then now with the working side of women coming up, this quality of getting trained at home for various aspects is doing very well. And women everywhere feel is little left out. So when they find another woman, they find it very safe, and they want to find it very happy to connect to another woman and do business. So I'm telling you, if there is a woman honor and she finds another woman talented, I'm sure they will choose the talented owner of the other company, because everybody wants business to happen. And if it happens in a good way, why not with another woman? So globally, there's a lot of women supporting women, and it should be happen everywhere, even in India. I'm saying that women should encourage another woman. They should be mentors to another woman too. That's how women empowerment can happen.
It started happening in India until now. These women organizations supporting each other and helping out, reaching out. So I would like to know, Dr. Maya, about your Mrs. Heritage World South India. About that experience. Yeah, if you can tell something about that experience.
Well, I was modeling, and when I got into my business, I never exposed the side of my modeling because I wanted people to take me seriously. I'll tell you one more thing: woman has to work twice as hard as a man to prove that she's serious in business. I don't know why it is like that. But people have a perception that women can't do well. So even in my job and even in my business, I work twice as hard to prove that I'm into serious business. I want to deliver, I want to prove, I want to take my company forward, and that brings the trust to the other person also. And while working and even while doing business, a major part of our workforce is women. when I used to go on my travel, I used to interact a lot with workers, and when I realized that they love talking to me and explaining their problem, and I tried to give them inputs how they could improve, and I tried to speak to the owners of this company how they could make these women workers better and secure in their environment, because the apparel industry is a women-oriented labor workforce. So having done this, I started doing it in my factory, and wanted to do it at a major platform, a bigger scale. So I thought of joining, participating in a pageant, and I was surprised when I won it. I got Mrs. Heritage World South India, and trust me, having got that crown helped me connect to a larger audience, a larger scale of women, and whose life I could transform. I started B-Shake, trying to get women. All of these women were either widows or getting beaten by their husbands at home, or single. Most of them were there. I started B-Shake, and I trained them, skilled them, and today I'm very sure that I have transformed their life, and I get the best feedback. And my customers say that these girls are wonderfully doing so well for themselves. What have you done to them? They are talking differently. They are so confident, and they run the whole entire setup without even me existing there. So that's a transformation I could bring, and this crowd helped me reach out to many more women. And then beautifully, and that's the whole idea of getting the participating in your pageant. I'm so happy that I could do this, and I could reach out to many other women.
Lovely. Awesome. And Dr. Maka, I would also like to know that about women empowerment. What is the real meaning of women empowerment in India, according to you?
See, this was again an eye opener for me. We all talk about women empowerment, but trust me, this word has nothing to do with women. Women empowerment has nothing to do with women. It has to be with the change in attitude of the society to women, the change in attitude of the men to women in the society. So that's when the real women empowerment will happen. Because what I'm talking, empowerment happens only when the community or the society respects you as a woman, helps you, give opportunity. Men around you start giving, motivating you, giving you that self-esteem that you are worth it. And I could also say that you could boost the self-esteem. You could provide, shut down these negative comments about women and making objectifying women, and give them job opportunities. The men should advocate women, in their jobs, and even in politics, they should allow women to come up. That's when women empowerment happens. But all by talking just this word doesn't happen. The society has to change, and that's when the empowerment of women can happen. Because we don't need any empowerment. We need opportunities, and we need support. We need people identifying our talents and giving us these opportunities. That's when empowerment happens. We don't have to train. The women in India are very trained. They were by birth, they are asked to do so many things and so many tasks. Imagine a laborer, a work laborer, a construction laborer's wife, with whatever money he gives her, she is able to give him two chapatis and a sabji. So she is so capable of managing with a small amount of money also in her house. So that is actually a managerial skill, you should see. These women just need opportunities to come up, and we have to, and even in business, I myself, I'm telling you that I run a business, we are in the textile industry. And when the pandemic started, I kept writing to the center that, our factories need help. Please try to, change the labor laws, and please reduce the electricity bill. Please make it easy for people to come and invest in our factories or put up factories. So every time I wrote to the center, somebody would just call and say, yeah, we are looking into it. During this pandemic, I tried my level best to reach the center and write to them, to the textile ministry. So, and then after 2 months, we got a video from the textile ministry that, sorry, there is no fund available for textiles. So what is the encouragement? I mean, I am at least able to sustain. What about the poor workers? What about small factories? What about MSMEs? The retail sector is suffering. So what is the empowerment? What are you doing supporting. I mean, the government is not supporting at all. So we need organizations. There is very talented women out there. We need support by getting easy bank loans, by some organization that can process our papers to start new business. All we need is opportunities. So that's the real empowerment that we talk about.
Very, very well. I must say, and I hope the point is getting to the audience and to the listeners who are there listening to the conversation today, because you're actually right. The artisans have to be taken care at this pandemic, and the government needs to come up and do something for the garment industry as well. And I hope that your suggestion is taken up seriously sometime. And I know, Dr. Maya, that now you also got into the political journey with the Joint Secretary, Karnataka State Industries for ARP. So I would like to know that why women need to participate in politics and why we have so less women in politics, according to you.
Yes, it's true that I recently decided to join the Aam Aadmi Party. I joined as a joint secretary, business and trade, Karnataka. And my decision to join politics is that, see, I realized that I could do a transformational change to women at certain, at my own limitations. But if joining politics could give me a larger platform to transform life, I could do glad joining politics. And seeing the work of Aam Aadmi Party, I decided that I should be here. And why women should join politics? I'm again stressing on the fact that women have proved that wherever they are, even in corporate houses, women on board have shown results 10% on the ROI than compared to the 7% when only men existed. So women in politics have to be there, because good governance can only happen when women also contribute, just as they contribute to the 50% of the population in any country. So women in politics has to be there because they can contribute, they can take, they can advocate social issues, they can allocate budget for health and education, they can come out with good ideas to without violence and but then there's a huge problem, because women are not seen in politics because of the 3 M's: money, muscle, and misogyny. Most of the women cannot throw the money that the normal men are throwing to fight elections. Then they do not have the muscle power. And then there's a misogyny that, only men can be seen in politics. Why? Only if you give an opportunity to the women, they want to come up there, but then we are told, this industry is not there. Even when I thought of joining, I was told, no, this is not a great idea, So, but then I said, okay, no, I've done everything differently, so I will try to do this also. I'll join politics and I'll see. And so then I decided to join Aam Aadmi Party recently.
Lovely. And I'm joining the Aam Aadmi Party. And if I can know, Dr. Maya, what next and more do we expect from you? You've been a more into politics, so more and next.
I'd be very happy that my joining of politics can bring about some change, because I think that there's a lot of change that needs to be seen in our country. We are paying taxes and we need to see so much more privilege. We have to see the dignity of living, and the ease of doing business has to happen. So with my joining in the trade and business, I really want to bring about some change. At least I can raise my voice and do that. And then the next agenda I always have 5-year plans. So the next thing is that I would want to make a global platform for women globally, because we have the biggest problem that we find it difficult to travel and connect to people abroad or increase our business, because we can't travel like men, So we want a platform where people can meet and discuss. And if I have a concern, I can address to somebody similar in the field globally. So I would like to make a platform like that where all women connected and and we could make this world a better place.
I hope and I someday. We are looking forward for it. And now we'll go for a rapid fire round, Dr. Maya. So according to you, is it smart work or hard work?
Smart work.
Okay. Dr. Maya, as a designer, model, or a politician?
Politician.
and we'd like to have a motivational message to the audience on COVID-19.
Yeah, okay. This pandemic has really changed life and the way we live and the way we have, and the future is going to be very, very different. And today, I mean, I was reading the newspapers. Even Karnataka, the scenario is so scary. And what we are lacking is preventing this disease at a very initial level. The testings are not happening, and I would want everybody to convey this message that be very careful and stay safe, and prevent this disease from coming thing, because it is so scary, and still the vaccinations are not out there, and of course businesses got affected, but at least we live safely, and we can do something in the future. But then yes, the future, better things can happen in the future, but we have to go through this phase. Yes.
Right. Favorite one-liner?
Favorite one-liner? All the best.
And advice to the people who want to get into modeling, fashion, and politics?
Sorry?
To the people who want to get into politics, fashion, or modeling, advice from your side?
Advice from my side. Okay. Well, whatever you get into, give your 100%. There's no shortcut to anything, If it's modeling, work hard to become the best model. If it's politics, give it everything what you can do to, to make a change. So whatever you take up, give it 100%. There's never a shortcut, and hard work, sincerity, and focus takes you places.
Awesome. And the program is about Madhvi's Luxury.co. I would like to know the definition of luxury according to you.
Luxury, yes. I mean, luxury is something that makes you feel good, and everybody wants to have luxurious houses and luxurious clothes and things, and anything but it comes with a price. So if we want luxury, then we have to work hard to it, and we should focus on getting it, because there is no exception to luxury. Luxury is luxury, and we should have it. And all luxurious things come in small packages, but then hard works gets you there to get it.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, and you're doing some great work. I wish you all the best, and hard work definitely always pays. And you must specialize in whatever that you do. Wonderful definition of women empowerment that came from you. So thank you so much for being here. Real pleasure and honor hosting you here on Madhvi's Luxury.co. And wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, Madhvi. It was such a pleasure talking to you. Wish you all the best on your venture, and looking forward to connect with you again. Good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi friends, for everybody and anybody who has missed these talk shows can go on my YouTube and watch them. As you all know, the show is powered and supported by real estate, art, hospitality, by the celebrity wedding designer and Academy, fashion designers, jewelry designers. So the show is supported and powered by Padmashri artist Krishna Kanaiti, artist Aarti Zaveri, and I happen to be the brand ambassador with Sari Sanskriti by Salma Sultan, Nora USA by Aisha Khanna, which is an international brand, and it's coming up with a store in New York as well now. And I've done the fashion shows in Paris, Milan, and New York. So I'm looking forward for many more collaborations. There's lots coming up. I'm already working on a few more projects.